Hello, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
Welcome back to my YouTube video channel. This is Dr. Vu's in the house. You guys know he's the photodontist guy. Dr. Vu, how your day?
Oh, my day was great. Thanks for asking. Just a nice chill day. We got to, I'm actually working on some content for some of my 3D printing courses. So yeah, it was kind of a, dental production and video production day.
That's beautiful. For those of you guys haven't seen Dr. Vu or haven't know about his product, we are about to introduce you guys to his cool device. One of the device that I have is I bought it from him years. This is like the old model. Okay, it's been really old.
It looks like you have the stealth model. It's got a cloaking device.
Yeah, so this is the device that helps to take a picture on the patient mouth. Yeah, that's better right now. So this I put the phone in, my iPhone in, and I take picture. So this is one of his product. Doctor, I'm so honored to be able to get him on my channel. We've been scheduled for a while to have some conversation, and this is something that is it doesn't cost a lot of money for you guys, but it's really amazing tool to take photo and just write on your phone. You share on social media immediately. So Dr. Vu is a founder of this little device, and I have him on board. He's gonna show us some other feature that he's doing. Dr. Vu, please introduce yourself. And how did you start this company? How did you evolve from 3D from photodontist to 3D printing, teaching, and you got so many things going on. I love what you do.
Yeah, I have maybe too many things going on actually. So we started out with, I actually started out years ago teaching photography classes actually. And we taught a photography class, gosh, many years ago. And, one of the things that came out of these photography classes was, hey, can we have something to shoot on the smartphone? And, I credit my friend Jonathan Abbenine for really giving me the initial nudge and a lot of the initial feedback on it. And so we worked to develop something. We basically, I'm just a dentist. I have very minimal design or CAD skills. And I just decided, okay, let's build backwards what it is that makes good lighting. And good lighting has just a few very basic things it needs. It needs to be directional. I'm not a ring light fan. It has to have direction. It has to cast shadows. Like you can see here, I've got a softbox light on my face. It makes a direction to my face. It has to be diffused. The light has to be soft. And it's got to be directional. It's got to be diffused. And it's got to be usable. It's got to be usable right here. And so what we did is we designed, I started with the lights going backwards. Let me see if I can get my other camera here going. Let's see, here we go. Let's get this one going. Oh, look, we got my messy desk live. Let's go ahead and kill that and go back to my other camera. Yeah, there's no editing room here, right? So yeah, so we started with the light going, Whoop. So we started with the lights going in two directions. I know people are going to accuse me of being a derivative of the Smileylight MDP. And the truth of the matter is they didn't invent twin lighting. What they did was produce a very good smartphone product with some strengths and some weaknesses. And so we set out to build something distinct and better. Our unit is magnetically retained. So, we just put a little metal sticker on, and then that was a bad example. But our unit's magnetically retained, so it maintains it holds the unit onto the onto the device. It has offset diffusers that are much sturdier. You can keep them. They do not readily come off the device. We have very high quality LED panels built in to the product. And in the case of the 500 units, we have bicolor LEDs. If you want to know what bicolor means, that means that you can take it and you can turn a button and you can watch the light get warmer. You can see it going really yellow, or you can go bluer. And that comes into play if you're doing, say, a patient testimonial and the light in your office is much warmer and you don't want the patient to look blue and the background, and the patient to look blue and your background to look yellow green. And so you can blend the light if you're doing testimonials, or you can just keep it, at a regular white temperature, a daylight temperature when you need to. So it's worked out really well for me. Let's do a quick little live demo. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my phone here.
Mhm.
It's green screen, so let's see what happens with my green screen filter. It may or may not work. So let's see. So I'm going to go ahead and put this up. Is it going to kill my? Let's see. There we are. I see myself. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and put it on. We're going to zoom the phone about 3 times. Sorry, I'm using my phone backwards, so bear with me here. Okay. So we're going to turn it on, zoom it, and now I'm going to move my microphone a little bit out of the way. There we go. And so you can see it makes a very bright and very even lighting. So why don't we show some samples of a case we did?
Yeah, that will be great.
All right. Can you go ahead and turn the participant screen sharing back on?
Sure. Sorry about that.
No problem. So we're going to go ahead and show. This case is, this is Grace. And Grace came to me. She's actually a long haul case. She came to me pre-ortho. And we had her go through ortho, MSE, and everything, and with the local orthodontist. And now what we're doing here is I actually 3D printed a putty mold for the day of the prep, along with reduction guides. We want to try. I'm always trying new things with the technology I have to try to, try something different. Ultimately, this one didn't work because it's the bisacryl just stuck to it. So we probably have to spray it with silicone or something next time and see if it works that way. But we try to 3D print our putty mold. In hindsight, I think most people would just 3D print the models and then do a putty mold on the models. I think that's easier, to be honest. So this is prep day. So we went ahead and we made a clear stent over the wax up model. I'm going to go ahead and click a little bigger. These were shot with the VPR. These are totally unedited. You're not going to see my highlight reel here. This is, I'm going to show you the good shots, the bad shots, and everything, just so you know, it's, we'll say we're keeping it real, so to speak, right? So here she is. I've went ahead and done the initial preps, and I have the stent in here, and we're just using that as a reduction guide to see how we're doing. Now, some of these looked over prepped because she had existing PFMs in her mouth, and so I inherited some of the previous dentist preps. 7 and 10 were definitely PFMs before. So we went ahead. We did veneer preps on 8 and 9. We did crown preps, as you can see here, 7, 6, 5. We actually number 4 is a no prep. It was a no prep bicuspid veneer just to fill out the corridor a little bit. You can see these are actually all shot with the VPR, during the procedure day. You can just pick up the smartphone and shoot with it and shoot step by step, just like you could with another camera. The nice thing though, one of the nice things when you're shooting with it is that my assistant actually peeks over the screen, and she can go and she can see what's on the screen, and it can guide her as far as retracting the patient's, adjusting the retractors or anything while I'm shooting, or repositioning the patient's head. She can kind of help along with the shot, which is nice. You couldn't do that with an SLR because no one can see what you're aiming at through the hole. Nowadays with mirrorless, I guess you can see the back screen of the camera too, though, to be fair. So here she is post prep. We're just taking more shots just to document it. You can see the little layer lines here, just like with Invisalign, you got layer lines on your models. And here's our shade photo. Shade photos are something that you can do with the VPR. The light itself is very good for it. The challenge with shade photos is always going to be with a smartphone, that smartphones want to do automatic everything. And automatic, what we learn if you take a traditional dental photography class, or even the one I taught years ago, is that automatic is really bad for shade, because the camera will then pick the color balance and will try to make an educated guess, and it'll be very inconsistent, and you have to go from shot to shot. So what we did here is we actually set the white balance manually, and you can do that with Samsung phones. You can do it with Apple phones if you have an app. And that's a long blog and post on color workflow. I don't think maybe not in the time we have here, but yeah, so you can see here there's some variance. There's a little bit of variance from shot to shot, not too bad. But my main goal with color is to make sure that you do that you have relative color references. You have patient skin, you have the shade tab, of course, and you have the teeth, and you try to light them all as evenly as you can. And so that's what we try to do here. We try to show the lab relatively what shade we want. Obviously, this is not the shade of her teeth. This is our destination shade. Actually, no, wait. No, this is the stump shade. No, this is the stump shade shot. I might stand corrected. So we took this shot as our stump shade photo. We took several of them. I forget which one we ended up sending to the lab. This is the raw library of shots. See, these are all taken with a smartphone. They're not, and I know there's a lot of people who are very, very good photographers, and this isn't going to pass muster with traditional photographers. And that's fine. There are people who, if you want to learn the A++ dental photography, you do need a big camera. I'm not gonna tell you otherwise. You do need a big camera, you need advanced techniques, and that's great. I'm going to show you some of those in the after photos. So we went ahead, grabbed everything with the smartphone, got the documentation quick. There she is. We do the little midline shot. If I were to do this again, I would do this with her standing up. I did it lying down. That was my bad. End of a long morning, and I think we just did it quick. But normally you'd want to take the shot with the patient standing straight up and straight on. She's a little bit off to the side too. So in this case, no big deal. We've got 2 prep teeth. We're not changing the midline, so we're okay there. So let me show you her after shots though. This is still using VPR, though I kind of cheated a little bit. So these are shot with a Panasonic camera. I didn't use a smartphone for the afters. And I think you could criticize you for that. Oh, see, you're not using a smartphone. I never said I would never say to somebody that, the smartphone is the best tool all the time. It's not. It's a very good tool some of the time. How many people do all their dentistry with 1 5/56 burr? Very few people. You have, at least 10 different burrs you probably use in your regular rotation. Okay. If you're really minimalist, 3, but everybody has multiple burrs and multiple hand pieces to do their dentistry. And I'm lucky enough to have multiple cameras. And so this is her case. Let me go to slideshow here. These are her after images. Oh, bother. Sorry. This is a relatively new installation. So let's get this slideshow going. Come on. There we go. Oh, did it jump monitors? It jumped monitors. Okay. Hang on a second. We'll just do this full screen. Okay, there we go. Okay, can you see it okay, Richard?
Yep, very good.
All right. So here's her final shots. I mean, these turned out real nice. We used the lab. And we actually waited. I know a lot of people do their post-op pictures the day of delivery. We actually decided to wait like a month. We told her we were going to do the shots. Female patients especially, they don't like being unprepared for pictures.
Right.
You know, they want to be made up. So we gave her the chance. She came back with a new haircut. She had her makeup done. And she was just relaxed, had fun. She was so grateful afterwards. You know, the end thing is to use a black background right now. Black backgrounds are in style. Back when we were in dental school, blue backgrounds were in style. I don't know. Do you remember that?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to use blue backgrounds. So black's in style now. But, you know, as an Asian person, you can see right now, I'm in a black virtual background. My hair is gone. I look bald, right? I'm halfway there anyway, but, you know, the black hair. So what we did was we added a hair light for Grace here. So we went ahead, added a hair light you can see now her hair just pops.
Right.
And, you know, she lifts out of the background a little bit more three-dimensionally.
Yeah.
So that's very important to me, is that we have three-dimensional lighting. Remember I said lighting needs to be directional, diffused, and distinct. That's defined. So by definition, I mean, you can see the shapes and the outlines.
Yeah.
In portraiture, we want the edges of the person to lift out from the background, and we use a kicker light for that. In this case, I use the VPR off label and off camera. So my assistant's just holding an empty VPR. You can see in the picture, I pranked it really yellow.
Yeah.
So I turn the light really yellow, and that gives it that glow, that kind of that sunset glow on her hair. I wanted her to have a warm glow
Very smart.
on the back of her hair. So that's a little technique we learned from some of my pro photographer friends. So you can see there, you know, we got just a little background lighting there. It's a nice looking shot. We took lots of shots here. These are I haven't actually finished editing this setup much. I've just done my first pass picking through, but so you can see here, great smile. You know, when you take photos, you need to just take many photos and just give yourself the time and the time and the latitude to take your time and get the shot you want. You can see here, you know, we tried a couple things. This is shot also with the VPR. This is actually lit by the VPR off axis to get this. This is a very cliche shot, but I think if all the cool kids do it, I'll do it too. Fine. So this is the I call this the toothpaste shot. So it looks like a toothpaste commercial. It's a slant. It's a Dutch angle 3/4 shot.
Yeah.
You can see here what we did with VPR. You have live lighting, so you can actually see the light change.
Yeah.
And so you can actually move the light around. You have a live preview. With SLR, you're using a flash most often, and so you don't see it until after you've taken the shot. It's like an X-ray in that regard, right? You don't see an X-ray live unless you're a podiatrist. You take the X-ray and then you see it, and then you have to make the adjustments. Well, what if you could see? Wouldn't it be cool in your bite wing if you could see that your contact was open and then you could snap it? I mean, that'd be great. We don't have that luxury, but with VPR and cosmetic shots, you have the luxury of moving the light around until you get the reflection just the way you want it. And I'm going to show you an example of that a little bit later. Is here. This is the retracted shots. We've got some work we could arguably do on the bottom. Let's see. Oh, I definitely haven't edited these completely. So yeah, so there's a lower. I know I haven't edited it because the teeth are pointing up. And for lowers, I typically rotate it down. So here we go. This is the final stretch. These are my favorite stretch of shots in this whole shoot. Is what we did is I just went ahead. I just took the camera. And what I did is I actually held my Panasonic camera behind the hole. And I'm using it basically like this. It's not hard mounted together. I'm just holding, left hand holds the VPR, right hand holds the camera. The Panasonic has very good image stabilization, and this is very, very bright. The patient's wearing disposable shaded goggles, so I don't blind her. And we got a contraster in here. And what I'm doing is I'm just moving the light ever so slightly. You can see here, My pet peeve is the shots where the two centrals are really bright and nothing else is. And so I just moved the light until I got what I wanted. I think the one I liked the best was this one here. I think this was my favorite. And you can see it's unedited. You still see dust specks here. I usually will Photoshop out dust specks. Ethically, I think dust specks are fair game. Dust is fair game. I don't think you can ethically change the shape of the teeth. You know, but I do want to clean it up a little bit. So yeah, this is going to probably go into a printed book that we're going to have in my waiting room.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I really like this case. This is going to be a portfolio case for me. Obviously, you know, here's a video of us doing it. Here's a video I can show you of us doing. This is here. You just turn on one side, turn on the other. You grab the magnet. The iPhone I was using earlier didn't have the magnet sticker, so it fell off.
Right.
But normally you have a sticker and it stick tenaciously. So you can see here's a patient. He's smiling for us. This patient's kind of, you know, little smile shy. Put in the retractors. And I just have this on live, you know, I'm just doing a screen record. And then I'm just capturing it. You can see there, this is straight out. This is just shooting. We can rotate and crop it, of course. You know, I know a lot about photography, but I won't pretend I'm the best photographer. You know, on most days I can maybe be a good one, but what I like here, you know, my heart for photography is that I can take somebody. Yes, please don't bust me. Somebody had a bare hand in that mirror shot. I hope it wasn't me. You know, my hope is that, you know, for the doctors who don't like to hold a big SLR or the assistants, you know, we can give them an alternative tool that they can use sometimes for everyday stuff. This is just an everyday diagnostic thing. So, gosh, look, YouTube ad. So these are just everyday diagnostic things that we do. Here's an older build of the VPR I'm showing people, but we can just do diagnostic thing. You can take diagnostic images. You know, we can take even more serious or special images too. There's lots of things that we can do with it. It's a versatile tool for communication. And the beautiful thing is with today's really big phone screens, you know, you could take the picture and show the patient right away. You don't have to wait to transfer it. And I don't know how much I can share, but we are working with a software vendor to take the iPhone photos and shoot them directly into your image management. So that's really cool. I'm actually doing some beta testing on that. I started actually a little bit informally, but we're going to look at a few designs tomorrow. I'm excited.
That's amazing. A lot of project that you do in Dr. Vu. And
yeah, too many.
And then you were teaching at Las Vegas, some 3D printing for beginner.
Yes, we are.
Are you gonna do another one in California someday?
You know, we are planning something. I don't have anything to announce just yet. I've got a few ideas. I'm trying to make this a team project. I don't want this to be the VuLeDDS show. I'm lucky enough to learn a lot of 3D printing from other people. And I'd love to, you know, again, just like the VPR, my heart is for the beginners. You know, I know there are much better, you know, there are some advanced topics that are amazing that I have, you know, I can only dream of doing some of the things I see online. But my heart is to help beginners to pick up their stride and fly. And so, you know, our goal with the classes, with the CAD Ray classes, and, you know, with my own 3D printing classes coming up down the road, is that you could take someone who, you know, knows nothing about 3D printing and help them do that. Part of the reason why, you know, I am partnered with Sprint Ray is because they see that too. Everything they do is about the beginner, the beginning, or the beginner printer, the dental staff member. They're not really concerned with the lab audience or the doctor audience. Every time I talk to them, you know, I had a call with their cloud designer. And everything we talk about is geared towards making it easy for people who don't know how to 3D print. That's my heart, that's their heart, and I think that's why it aligns really well for me. Is it the best 3D printer on earth? Probably not. I'll be honest. There's a lot of things I like about it, and there's a few things I don't. But I think it's a really good system for my office. It's worked really well, and I think it worked for a lot of other people too.
How much is the investment, Dr. Vu?
So the investment in a sprint race system can run between it can run between $13,000 and $16,000 for one printer, a wash unit, and some resins, some design services, and the cure unit.
Okay.
So their system, the kind of the unique pitch with their system is that it is specifically the Pro 95, is that it's beginner friendly, but it can do, it can do stuff almost at lab volume, and you can print aligners and stuff with it. So it's got a very large capacity to it. So that's
you are doing the aligner too, right?
I am actually, we just started that. Yeah, we are doing, we just started printing our own aligner models. We're working with a company called Archform. They have their own design software. You can design it yourself and export $50 per case.
Okay.
Or you can, what we're doing, since I'm not as good with design, I'm not comfortable designing my own ortho models yet. What I'm doing is I am having them set it up. You pay them $99 to have a technician design it, or you pay $199 to have an orthodontist design it for you. And so we've been doing that, and so that's been kind of cool.
Called Archform, right?
Archform, yeah.
Yeah, good to know.
Yeah, there's a lot of other sites that will design for you. I should mention, my friend Barry Volts at 3D DigiWorks. He designs ortho, iRock DDS. Let's see who else does it. Evident. I think Evolve might do it. I have to ask them. But yeah, there are a lot of digital labs that will do the ortho design work, and then you can print it. Now, for printing ortho, you kind of have to have a couple prerequisites. You have to have the manpower to do it. You have to have organization. You have to be able to keep your model. You have to have staff that can keep things organized and stay on top of things when a patient's coming. You have to have the printer and the hardware, obviously. But the nice thing is, if you have all that going, you have the right team members in place. And, I want to acknowledge right now, it's really hard to have any team members. The labor situation's really dire right now. We're interviewing too.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely a fun and rewarding process. And we're still learning on this. We're in our infancy. We've printed, we've delivered two cases now that we printed ourselves. We're working on the third. So we're just barely getting our toes in the water with that. But so far, I really enjoy the experience, particularly since I'm not doing most of the work.
Dr. Vu,
I have a great team. I have outstanding team members.
I want to go back and just quickly ask you that for the price of the new model of this VPR device, what is the cost for a beginner?
Sure. So right now, if you go to photodontist.com, let me go ahead and reshare that. So if you go to photodontist.com, you can click on shop here, and then let's see, click on shop and smartphones. And we have two models right now. The lowest cost model is going to be the VPR 400. Right now it says closeout because the LED panels actually went out of production. And so as of this weekend, I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to just have to close out what I have. So things move really fast, and the manufacturer was able to do one last production run. So I'm actually going to buy a whole bunch of panels. I haven't even had a chance to update the website yet, but we are going to have the VPR 400 for at least, I think we're going to buy enough supply to last for about a few months to a year
Mhm.
for the VPR 400. After that, we're going to probably sunset it and have another model in its place. I'm actually prototyping some other units even as we speak. So the VPR 500 though is our bestseller, hands down. So the VPR 400, as you can see, it's selling for $400 to $440 is what we're selling it for right now. The VPR 500 runs from $500 to $700 depending on what options you have. Right now we are out of stock. I will have one unit that's going to hit stock sometime tonight. May not be by the time this video airs. Our inventory is going to be a little sporadic. We're waiting for a big shipment from China, and I'm trying to scramble to get things. It's a hot seller, I won't lie. It's been selling really well. Honestly, I pinch myself sometimes because I didn't think that people would support a crazy small town dentist working out, making stuff out of his garage. I still make them in my garage actually. And we run it basically like a home Etsy business, and it's doing.
I'm so excited to Dr. VuLeDDS for what you're doing, and it is beautiful that you have a lot of project going on, and I'm sure I want to go back again with our talk podcast, and let you probably perhaps go a little bit slower, explain a little bit different key thing for dentists how to use this product. But I want to thank you for the opportunity to bring you into my channel and introduce to some of my audience who follow me, and they're curious and see what are the stuff that the dentists like us been doing. So you are one of the example that set out the outstanding dentists who not only just doing dentistry, but doing something out of the normal thing that you do. And I really enjoy that you on social media, you got so much stuff going on. I really appreciate your time. We have a
Thank
few
you for
minutes.
having me.
Want to share anything else?
Well, I think we've hit a lot of good high points, and I look forward to coming on again. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. So we next time we just go a little slower, introduce a couple of things. I know we have a lot of things going on, but I know your time is valuable. You gotta go. I want to say thank you again. I hope to see you one more time.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Good night.